Today is the day that we leave for Osberton 2023. Oh, Star didn't want to walk past, did he? Not to say goodbye to his friend. So I'm off the championships. What are you up to for the rest of the week?
He's ready for his first ever international show.
And he is currently clean.
It's still like 24 hours until we go dressage, so he's got time. And so it begins, our second and possibly final Stayaway show of 2023. We've still got one that we're a little bit up in the air about. Today is the Tuesday, for some context. The competition itself doesn't start until Wednesday. Tomorrow Star has his dressage. We are heading up there today as a new kind of way of tackling this last minute prep. I will kind of discuss more and show you what I mean when we get there.
I'm not sure that's the most promising start. A lot of mud. Right, we have made it. We are literally just heading into the stable area now, and we've made our first, well I say we, I have made my first faux pas of the trip. I left my thermometer on the yard, so when you come to these FEI shows you have to take the horse's temperature morning and evening for the 3 days prior to arriving, and I forgot to put it back in the lorry, so I was having a proper freak out, much like Star just then, that they weren't going to let us on site, but luckily, because I took his morning temperature, they have one on site. They could take his afternoon one, and we're just gonna have to buy one first thing tomorrow or get someone to bring one up. Yeah, slightly stressful start, but hopefully that's all I've forgotten for the show.
That was your second faux pas.
Why? What was the first one?
You told me to say how I've left my boots at home.
Oh, my Fairfax and Favour boots for the trot up on Saturday. Anyway, we're gonna find a stable now. He's number 300, we're currently at 324, so somewhere around here. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that we have come a day early. Today is Tuesday. Star doesn't do dressage until Wednesday afternoon, so why have we come so early? We could come tomorrow. Essentially, this is us trying to help relax him, a bit like champs. One of the biggest tests of this week for Star. The jumping is going to be difficult, but it's going to be the dressage. It is a far trickier test than what we're used to doing, and I found at champs that it did just blow his mind a little bit. And in all honesty, in the 5 weeks since champs, I don't feel we've made any progress. We've been working really, really hard, but the test outings we've had, I think we've had 2, 1 event and 1 combined training, have not felt any better, and they were at much easier tests. So what we're doing is like mitigating. It's damage control. I found, like in the champs environment, he was quite tense, and I was then trying to ask him the sort of most difficult movements that him and I have done together, you know, the leg yields and the mediums and the counter canters, and he just was a bit like, ooh, this is all a bit much. So we've come a day early so that I can school him today and just try and get him to relax into the environment and ask him some more of those more difficult questions, and then tomorrow in the warm-up we can keep things really nice and basic and hopefully keep him relaxed so that when he goes in the test and he's asked those movements, he's not already wound up, if that makes sense. This is where you'll find Vix for the next 5 days, sat down. So we think this will be where Star's doing his dressage tomorrow, which is quite nice, and I think slightly less intense than where Atty did his dressage last year in the 2-star, which has got all of these a little bit closer and a bit more stools around it, so pleased with that. Just need to make a little bit of space in the living so we can move around. Emptied half of it out, but there's still quite a bit in here. And it's time to update the board with the next exciting event. There we go. I couldn't film and write at the same time. That was beyond my capabilities. This is a nice opportunity. When you're here the day before the test, you are given, I think it's about a 45-minute window to familiarise yourself with the arena, which is really lovely and great for someone like Star, who, as you all know, can be a little bit spooky. So this is great, just having a very calm, casual wander around the arena ahead of tomorrow when it matters. So, to give you an idea of the proximity, here's the dressage arenas for Flo's class. It's been around here over to all the trade stands with the lorry park behind. There's the other dressage arenas for the bigger classes there. And then behind us is the cross country. And then those boxes filled with carrots are driving obstacles, because they've also got a big driving competition on here. And looks like a few more stables, not sure quite what they're for. And then lovely church in the background. Lovely seats, really social, sweet seats. And anyway, back to what you're interested in, it's flow. Certainly gone up a couple of gears now.
So, we didn't actually know when we rocked up, but there was actually an arena familiarisation today, which means you can go and obviously you've seen walk around the outside of the arena and just get your horse used to it, which for Star, that is the most perfect thing, because as you can see, he's a bit lucky. So he did a nice bit of schooling which wasn't on camera, and then we've just gone and walked him around and got him all chilled, and he was good at school, but now walking back into the campsite, he's got his eyes on stalks.
Just the lady I was looking for. I'm pleased to report you've made your first faux pas of the trip.
Oh, I've probably made many.
Oh my god, I would have changed it. If we stick to your dressage times, we'll miss my test completely.
What time is it?
10 minutes earlier than that.
Oh, that's not the biggest one. I wrote it up on the board earlier. I put dressage Wednesday, cross country Thursday, show jumping.
Oh.
I got in a bit of a pickle.
But that's 10 minutes too late.
Okay, so
minor things. 3:38.
Osberton day 1, or would you call it day 0, is complete. We are just heading off because we are not actually staying on site this time, which is a bit of a luxury. So I may show you where we're staying at some point, just locally. But yeah, good night Star, and let's see what tomorrow brings. Good morning, welcome to dressage day. We're gonna get on and get Star out and exercise quite early on, just a nice little leg stretch. And I'm gonna hopefully fit in the first course walk today of the cross country, which is exciting. And then obviously, big moment is dressage at 3:38. I go down the centre line, so we've got a bit of time before then. Good morning. This side is clean.
Yes, that's a good first sight. If anyone watched the Champs vlog, you might remember how mucky he was. How he rolled in poo, got it all over his own face. Yeah, we haven't seen the rest of him yet. It's still a long way to go.
Remind me who had to clean him last time.
I'm pretty sure I volunteered at least. Do you want your breakfast?
Here we go, it looks alright.
Well, let's reserve judgment. There is a little poo stain on his neck. Just waiting to start on his breakfast.
Yeah, he's about the world's slowest eater, so we'll be here a while.
Right, plan of action time. I've just taken Star for a little stroll around the ground, hence I'm polishing off my boots now. And he's also had a hand graze, so he is a happy boy. Mum is going to get started on the flats, because Lord knows I am not trusted to do that at such an important event. And in a second I'm going to go and get coffee, because we love caffeine, and actually watch a couple of people do their tests. And then I'm hoping to catch Simon Grieve, who, if you don't know, he's a 5-star event rider, and walk the course with him lunchtime before we sort of start the manic rush getting ready for dressage. Somebody is enjoying his pamper session. So that's all done, which means it's coffee time.
Oh, yes, please. First coffee trip of the entire event. Cheers.
Well, as long as my dressage isn't at 3 o'clock, we should be alright. Oh wait. So we've come down to the dressage to watch and learn, and Mum is, what were your words?
I'm enjoying today.
In bliss, she said, watching dressage because there's classical music playing in the background. Pre-dressage naps. You thinking about the test? Thinking about all those leg yields, all those mediums. We've watched some dressage and we've just come back to the lorry to get changed because at some point in the next hour or so it's meant to start raining, and it's going to be heavy rain and wind, and it's not really supposed to stop until after I finish my dressage. Yay, because we know Star is an all-weather horse.
Positive vibes only.
But anyway, we are about to go and have our first look at the cross-country course, which is very exciting. Get Simon's thoughts on it as well, and I might try and bring you along and show you, but if not, I will feed back what he says. I'm not going to show you every single fence in this course walk because we are on a bit of a time constraint, but rest assured later in the vlog you will get the usual walkthrough of the course, a little snapshot of every fence. Right, course walk numero uno done. It was really useful to get some of Simon's thoughts on the track. I didn't film because there was a few of us about and I didn't want to sort of impose, but I will share them with you at some point, I'm sure. For me, by far the toughest section of the course is about fence 4 to fence 7. After that it eases off a bit. And the question that I'm stood at now is the one in particular I think will be very interesting, 6AB, because that I will get some perspective. Maybe I'll pop down there and get Mum to film, but that is a massive drop. Horses won't have seen anything like that at this level. Let me go back and show you with Mum there. I mean, that's not small for horses that have largely just been doing B100s. So yeah, big question. And I think once they've popped down that and jumped through the spooky water up there, they're away. So this is combination 4. I'm not going to show you much now, but this is the first combination on course, and I think that's a pretty big question for a 1-star, especially because it's on 2 pretty bold strides. You know, you don't want to be off that. You need to ride it positively, attack. Right, dressage is fast rolling around and the sky is fast turning greyer and the wind is picking up, but I'm going to start putting in the studs now and crack on. So we're just giving Star 10 minutes with his heat pad before he goes, because obviously the temperature has dropped quite a bit recently and he's just been clipped. So just giving him every chance to relax into it, get a little bit of warmth on his back before I get on him. Yeah. Well, it's time, as you can probably tell from my really red face I always get whenever we're rushing around, but dressage is a go, and I thought I'd quickly say, 1-star, you're allowed to wear tails or not tails. From 2-star and above, I think you have to wear tails, and you also have to do your test in sitting trot. 1-star is obviously quite a new class, it's optional, you can sit or rise. For Star and I, rising is just the obvious option. I'm stronger in rising and he's happier there, so we're working on our sitting, but if you've got the choice, do what you're better at. So I kind of assumed that if you were rising, people would wear like normal jackets like this, and then if you were sitting, you'd wear tails, because I wouldn't want to rise with tails. I'd feel like I'd sit on them and they'd flap around a bit. But actually most people seem to be rising and wearing tails, so now I'm like, missed an opportunity to wear the tails. I do have them, and if it was Atty, I would bung them on. But after everything we've done, I feel like half this vlog so far has been us trying to just settle Star, get him calm, get him in that perfect environment. He has no excuse at the moment. He needs to go in there and stay calm. If I put tails on for the very first time and have them flap about, that's a legitimate excuse for him to be a little bit like tense. So I'm going to resist the urge today. I would love to wear my tails, but there'll be another time for Star and I. Anyway, enough waffling about tails, let's actually go and do this. Atty's twin is in there. Oh. Well, it's not Atty, so it's all alright. I have been putting off this dressage test voiceover because I have not wanted to do it. As you will know from the title of this video, there was a far bigger drama, but this is one of the hardest to accept, even more so than the fall that comes later. The prep we did for this test, the way we tried to get inside Star's brain and do everything to his standard, you know, the schooling the day before, which is a shame I don't have on video to compare, but the arena familiarization, everything, and it just didn't pay off. You can see here he's gone up a level. He wasn't actually on it in the warm-up, I have to admit, but he's got even more tense since we've come in. So here is your warning that the test, the voiceover, the debrief that follows are a little bit negative.
The next competitor to come forward, number 299, Flo Carter. Flo joins us with her own Able Star. Number 299, Flo Carter, Able Star.
I am dreading this, but here we go. As always, I have the comments from both judges. I'll combine that with my thoughts, and my first thought was, oh no, because he shot down the centre line, totally ignoring my leg, and his head came up, and I thought, this is a long test to get through with a horse who's not really listening. We did actually get a 7 from the judge at C for our centre line and our first 10-metre circle, which I'm just going to focus on because there are not many 7s in this test, so we have to enjoy the little things. But we got a 6 for our centre line from the judge at E, because she obviously would have got much clearer vision of how he hollowed, and a 6.5 for the circle, and then we got 2 6.5s for the medium, which I really did not ask for. Star has been producing some nice mediums, but I knew with how he had tensed that if I put my leg on and asked for a nice medium that he'd probably shoot off or break, because his head was so clearly not in it by this point. And the leg yield as well was obviously just dire, really not very good. We got a 5 from the judge at C, who I guess would have a much clearer view of it, and a 6 from the judge at E, and then a 6.5 for the transition to canter from both of them. But watching this back is difficult because he's done this test and he's done these movements at home so much nicer. That was meant to be a 15-metre circle, which again I sort of overshot, but I don't want to call it inaccurate riding in the sense that it was very deliberate. It was like I just felt he wasn't there, and I felt that I couldn't ask him on a smaller circle because he didn't have the balance. So it is a shame, and I am quite doom and gloom after this test because it feels like a real stumbling block. It feels like we've spent the last few weeks, really since the champs, stagnating, not making any progress, but he needs to be able to do a test at this level if we want to move forward from here. This is not going to be a competitive score at any competition. There were 110 starters in this class, but there's a lot of improvement needed. It's not even almost a competitive test. It's quite difficult to watch for me. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a sidetrack. I got 2 6s for that second medium, which was even worse than the first medium because, again, I just felt him getting tenser and tenser. I thought our halt was actually pretty good, and we got a 7 from the judge at E, and I think we got a 6.5 from the judge at C, which I think is a bit mean. I think that was a really quite good halt, and there's not that much that's quite good about this test, so I was hoping she would give me a break, but no. The walk again was lacking. We got a 5.5 from the judge at C, with the comment that we needed more purpose. But then you'll see that I try and put my leg on a little bit more in the second bit, and I think he breaks. I think he does, because we got a 5.5 from the judge at E as well. So it shows what a fine line I was on. Yeah, there you go. It was either a very slow walk or a joggy walk. There was quite literally no in between, and it's not nice to be riding that feeling. I thought this walk would do him a big favour. I thought that it would calm him down, give him a minute to take in the atmosphere, maybe remind him of yesterday. Oh boy, was I wrong, because this was just a disaster. It was another leg yield. I knew it was going to go sort of bad before we'd even asked, but it went really bad. We got a 5 with the comment very hollow from judge at E, and a 4 with the comment hollow and no crossing from the judge at C. And then he just lost his marbles a little bit here. 5.5s, 4s being thrown around for these. I mean, what is that, Star? Come on, you're in front of 2 international judges. That is not a way to behave, and they were not impressed. The one slight positive, because I do always try and look for a positive, is that he did come back here in the canter, and we got 6.5s for this medium canter, which is nice that we managed to get it back together, because historically once he'd got upset and tense, that was sort of the end of the story. But really it wasn't recovered that well. We were back in the territory of 6s and 6.5s where it wants to be 6.5s and 7s really. This stretchy trot, I didn't feel I could let him go too much. I was worried what he might do. But we got a 6.5 from the judge at E and a 6 from the judge at C for that. And then honestly at this point I knew we were about to turn down the centre line and I just wanted to be done. I really just wanted to be finished. I got a 6.5 for the turn down the centre line from the judge at E and then a 6 for the halt, and then a 5.5 for the turn down the centre line from the judge at C and a 6 for the halt. But I felt pretty low coming out of this test. I felt like a lot of the work we'd put in was pretty fruitless, and I think it's safe to say that moving away from this, we need to have a winter plan. We need to go away and work out why we can do it in practice, but not in the test. And that is the big question that will follow us into 2024.
Won't have been the test she was hoping for. Still no major disasters, it just wasn't making it very easy for her today.
I knew as soon as I had to talk about it I'd get emotional. That was so not what we needed. Maybe now isn't the right time to sort of do a full debrief, and obviously you'll have seen my thoughts on the test, but I don't know where that came from. I feel like we've worked really hard, you know, since champs, because I felt that harder test didn't go to plan and I felt we were on edge, so I feel like we've done everything. We've, you know, gone to combined training and worked on some dressage. We've, you know, arrived here early and done the arena familiarisation and hacked him and schooled him last night and ridden him loads, and I don't know what happened. I thought he came out really, really well when I first started warming up, and then I did feel like he tensed up a little bit. Thought we worked through it. I thought, yes, that's out the way, went in, found him tense up again, popped him in canter because that has worked in the past and it's kind of been like a little hack, and it didn't help. When he went down that centre line, I knew when he gave me that trot, I thought, oh no, this is what we've got and we're not gonna get away from it. But yeah, and then obviously that I thought that walk would help calm us down, but no, that second canter and that leg yield were really, 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 really horrific. And I'm just like gutted because I feel like we've worked really, really hard, and I can't rationalise that. I can't justify it. Like, I can't be like, oh well, the weather changed. The weather didn't. It was meant to rain in our test and it didn't. We got lucky. I don't know, but I'm really disappointed. Score has just come through as well. It's 40.3, which maybe has triggered this because I really all I wanted was for it to start with a 3. Okay, we'll talk more later when I'm less emotional, but yeah, not the start we wanted. Oh, what a shame. Sorry, I'm back because I also always like to try and say something positive, and I really couldn't think of anything positive to say there. But I'm gonna say is that we didn't get wet. Woo! We were meant to get wet, we didn't get wet, and the rain started as soon as Star got in the stable, so that is positive. That's the only positive.
Morning everyone. Flo's just asked me to open the vlog. She feels,
Someone's a lot more peppy than me this morning.
I've got loads of energy. Today's going to be a good day, isn't it?
That's because we're not competing.
Exactly.
Morning everybody, officially day 2, but day 3 here, and as we just said, non-competing day, but still lots to do, courses to walk again, hacking to be done, winds picked up.
Such drudgery.
Probably can't hear me. Yeah, I didn't really say much yesterday after my post-dressage test debrief. I've sat on it and honestly still feel not great about it, but it's not practical to sit and stew on it. It's the last event of the season. We can make a game plan over winter. If it bothers me that much, now we've just got to get on and do the rest of the week. So, like I said earlier, today is a non-competing day for us, so we're just popping on some tack and we're going to go for a little hack with a friend, which will be nice, so that Star has some company and nice for me to have a little bit of a chat. Right, I had a lovely ride with Sophie Hall on her rather excitable Freddie, and I'm looking forward to seeing her dressage later. We've just started second course walk number 2, and in this one I will show you all of the fences, probably give you less of my thoughts, but yeah, the plan for this one is to kind of get my striding patterns nailed down. It's more than just my first look, and really decide on my lines, because I will probably do one more course walk later today with minute markers. That's kind of what today is all about, non-competing day. It's about getting all set for tomorrow. So after fence 1 you canter all the way down here, and this is what's straight in front of you. So we've had to come out really wide to get straight to that so they don't lock onto that.
Still got there on 4.
4. Go on, Flo. One place where the BEDE team who organise Osberton are really good is at listening to rider feedback. So they've got rider representatives at each level, usually fairly well-known established riders who you can kind of go to with any queries and questions. And for the 1-star, it's actually Simon Grieve, who I obviously walked with yesterday. And the feedback that the whole group who walked with him had, and the feedback generally among riders in the lorry park, is that the biggest question on course is that lovely step over S6, and it's quite early on with no alternative. If your horse stops, it's probably not going to go a second time because it stopped because it doesn't think it's doable. It's not like it's misread the question. So what's been really great is the team have listened and they've put in an alternate, which I'm stood at now. So if you don't want to attempt the step down at all, instead when you come sort of down this path and head to the step, you can pop in a circle here and come round and over this fence, and then you've got to circle right the way round and go down that slope and to the skinny. So it would waste a good sort of 10-15 seconds. I personally won't try it first time because I think that it's good to expose him to some bigger questions. This is meant to be a step up, but it's really nice to know, and I'm just heading over to the step now, that if we get to the step and he goes, "What is this? I've never seen it before," you don't have to walk home. You can go and jump on the fence and come back. So this is the step, and yes, you're jumping that alternate otherwise and coming down that slope, which will waste some time by the time you've put in a bit of a loop. And it's a big enough fence in itself because it's in the 3-star. Obviously tomorrow is the big one, 1-star cross country day. My time is 10:30, which is reasonably early, but I think my class starts at 8:30, so my plan is to go and watch a couple at the start and see how they jump down fence 6, because I really want to know what the situation is with that. Is it purely a rider frightener? Is it actually quite scary? We'll see. So that might be all from me tonight, but it might not be. We'll see. Oh yeah, Dan's arriving any minute. Well, he should have been here a few minutes ago, so Dan, if you're seeing this, you're running late. Good morning everybody, today is the big one, and very excitingly, new addition to the crew. Say hello to the vlog.
Good morning everybody.
Good morning.
New addition to the crew here.
Yeah, anyway.
Still valuable.
Yeah, still just as valuable, and in my coat.
Maybe not just as valuable. Oh, sorry, no. Me. I thought we were talking about me still.
Yeah, no, I know if I could only have one of you here, which one I'd have. Anyway, cross country day. We're gonna go, it's only just him, we're gonna go and see Star and get sort of sorted so that when the cross country starts I can go and watch the first few, because I go about an hour and a half into the action and I really want to watch some people jump down that step to hopefully put my mind at ease. That is the plan. Are you clean? Are you clean? It's the best lighting, I can't help you in the background. Anyway, as you can probably see, I've got my cross-country colours on, which means we're getting closer to the time of jumping, which is a little bit scary. We are doing things a little bit differently this year. Last year, there was a full day of cross-country before I went in a different class, but it was similar fences, so I got to watch loads. Today I'm in the first hour and a half to go, so I don't really have that much time to go and see how the horse is riding. It's showtime! It's like a cold.
In the trees. Course, Empire Coach Builders, manufacturers based in Kidderminster. It's going to be a great quiz, lots of fun and entertainment planned, and believe it or not, the organisers have even pushed the boat out.
We are really in the final few minutes before I go now. Tack is going on, boots are going on, it's the final touches, and it did put my mind at ease going and watching a few people jump fence 6, because everyone that was presented at the step jumped down it, of the first half a dozen that we saw. A few chose to do the alternative route, one had an issue at the skinny afterwards, but the step itself was fine. The sort of problem fence that I hadn't expected is fence 4. Obviously we knew that was quite a big question early on in a 1-star, but actually 50% of the field at this point in the day have had a stop at our fence. That is a lot, and that's early on as well, so I think it's just about being aware, going in, now we know it's a problem fence, you know, taking the time to set up, ride it confidently, don't rush, and I think quite often you use the first minute to get up on your minute markers, and I think with this course the first couple of minutes are not for that, they're for keeping clear on the score card hopefully, and then after that you can start to push a bit. Are you trying to cheat, Flo, through the day?
Yeah, she gives her watch to other people, so she gets the step count on her watch.
Well, I'm doing all of those steps.
No, you're not, you're sat on a horse.
My heart rate would be a hell of a lot higher. That's the worst step ever. Oh yeah, he's up for the job now, look. It's time. Star definitely knows it's cross country coming, look, he's jogging away. He's looking great, Flo.
Feeder at 16. So back to flow caster and able start.
Oh gosh, Flo, stay on! Ah! Oh Flo, get on! Get back on! Oh my gosh! You can, yes, go for it. Oh my goodness! Oh Flo, get on! She's still on at the moment! Oh no! Oh. Oh, I can't believe that. So we need... Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Super. All right. If you've got any problems, like in half an hour, if you've got any pain, go to the...
So he didn't not jump anything?
Yeah, he was going.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I'm so gutted.
Oh, mate.
Oh yeah. Sorry, just
that's all right.
I've just got...
You should have grand shot, you know, be where you've been, you know. Well, this is the lows.
And you'll be happy to hear that none of us got it on film.
The lady at the line crossing said that she got some of it and she very kindly sent it, so
really?
you might not see the full, but I think you'll see me clinging on.
Well, there wasn't really a fall, was there? It was more of a graceful dismount, or a less graceful dismount.
So,
I'm sorry. Already got it.
no trot up for you. You're probably quite relieved about that. I don't think you like trot ups very much. Right, we're back at the lorry. I'm not really sure what you've heard from me or exactly how much you've seen. I think you saw the back end of me clinging on. Mixed feelings. In a way, I'm not as disappointed as I was after the dressage. Obviously you saw me a bit emotional yesterday. I'm not really emotional because in the grand scheme of things, we're happy, we're both safe, we're both healthy, no one's had any sort of injury. I'd actually never fallen off Star before, so it was only a matter of time. We've had him 4 years, and I'd always imagined that when I first fell off Star, he'd handle it really, really badly, especially if it was cross country, you know, with the adrenaline up and the air jacket. So the set of circumstances that happened that allowed me to get off and unclip myself, you know, I actually don't think he's lost any confidence. He didn't not jump anything, he jumped, we just had a little bit of a disagreement about what stride, and in the end it was a little bit ugly. But so in that sense I sort of feel okay. I don't really feel like we've lost too much nerve, too much confidence. Obviously we've been doing this Agri League throughout the year, and we said from the start it was a really long shot, but we were going into today in the lead and with like a 5-point sort of lead over anyone else. So obviously there's the little part of you that dares to dream, and it's really gutting from that sense, from the sense that, you know, we haven't completed and therefore that won't happen. But there were some really nice prizes on the line and a sponsorship and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's been great to be a part of it this year, and that is life, isn't it? It goes your way sometimes, other times it doesn't. Also a little bit disappointing that that's potentially the last run of the season for Star, but it is what it is. I think we need to work on our Stayaway show bottle, because he just seems to be up a gear at these Stayaway shows. He was like it at Champs, he was just that bit strong. And I don't know how much footage there is because I obviously didn't make it that far through that cross country, but it was scrappy because he was just 10-15% too excitable and too strong, and yeah. But oh well, what a shame though, because I think I said, I don't know if I ever said it on the vlog, but I definitely said if we made it between fence 4 and fence 7, that was a tough part, and we got through those, albeit scrappily. So if I just stayed on, I think it would have been absolutely fine. The course was a lot less intense after that, but it's done. Can't undo it, can't change it. I will update you with whatever we talk about next, what comes next, whether we're staying today, whether we're going, all of that fun stuff. But yeah, not the day we wanted. Such is life. We are heading home. It can be really hard to know what to do in these situations, because obviously we thought we'd be here tomorrow and it'd be lovely to stay and support everyone else, and sometimes I think that's the right thing to do. In this situation, I think we're going to head off. I start my final year of uni in, under 3 days now, and I've got a lot of prep work that I haven't started, and there's also a freshers event for new students at Loughborough tomorrow, where they can come and see kind of what Loughborough Equestrian's about. So to be able to be there, I think, is probably the right thing in this situation. And I think Star will appreciate being at home and having a night out in the field. But he's happy, he's having a little munch, a little graze. We're both fine, just not the outcome that we wanted. Bye bye, Osberton. See you next year.